The Christmas story didn't begin in Bethlehem. It began centuries earlier, in the writings of prophets who never lived to see what they predicted. Men like Isaiah, Micah, and Jeremiah, speaking words they didn't fully understand, describing events they would never witness. I want to show you something remarkable. The birth of Jesus wasn't a surprise to anyone who had been paying attention to the Hebrew Scriptures. It was predicted, in detail, hundreds of years in advance. Think about that for a moment. We're not talking about vague predictions that could apply to anyone. We're talking about specific details: the town where he'd be born, the family line he'd come from, the circumstances of his arrival, even the route his family would take to escape danger. Prophecy, in the biblical sense, is God's signature on history. It's his way of saying, "I told you this would happen, and now it has." Let me give you a taste of what I mean. Around 700 BC, the prophet Micah wrote these words, "But you, Bethlehem Ephrathah, though you are small among the clans of Judah, out of you will come for me one who will be ruler over Israel, whose origins are from of old, from ancient times." Micah 5 verse 2. Bethlehem, not Jerusalem, the capital, not Nazareth, where Mary and Joseph lived. Bethlehem, a tiny village so insignificant that Micah had to specify which Bethlehem he meant. There were two. 700 years before Jesus was born, the location was already written down. Or consider Isaiah, writing around the same time. "Therefore the Lord himself will give you a sign. The virgin will conceive and give birth to a son, and will call him Emmanuel." Isaiah 7 verse 14. A virgin birth, an impossible conception, a child whose name means God with us. These aren't retrofitted interpretations. These prophecies existed in written form, preserved in synagogues across the ancient world, centuries before Jesus drew his first breath. And we're just getting started. Let me walk you through a few more of these prophecies, because the details are stunning. Isaiah 9 verses 6 to 7, written around 700 BC. "For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government will be on his shoulders. And he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace." Notice the titles: Mighty God, Everlasting Father. This wasn't just predicting a human king, it was predicting someone divine, someone eternal, someone who would carry the weight of government on his shoulders. Then there's Hosea 11 verse 1. "Out of Egypt I called my son." Matthew's Gospel tells us that after the Magi left, an angel warned Joseph to flee to Egypt because Herod was hunting for the child. The family escaped, lived in Egypt until Herod died, and then returned. Matthew explicitly connects this to Hosea's prophecy, Matthew 2 verse 15. Here's what I find remarkable. Mary and Joseph didn't plan to go to Egypt. They were refugees, fleeing for their lives. Yet their desperate escape fulfilled a prophecy written 700 years earlier. And then there's Jeremiah 31 verse 15. "A voice is heard in Ramah, weeping in great mourning, Rachel weeping for her children and refusing to be comforted, because they are no more." When Herod realized the Magi had tricked him, he ordered the massacre of all male children in Bethlehem under 2 years old. Matthew 2 verses 17 to 18 quotes Jeremiah's prophecy as fulfilled in that horrific event. Now, I want you to consider the mathematics for a moment. Scholars have identified over 300 prophecies in the Hebrew Scriptures that point to the Messiah. Jesus fulfilled them all. The odds of one person fulfilling just 8 of these prophecies by chance have been calculated at 1 in 10 to the 17th power. That's a 1 followed by 17 zeros. To put that in perspective, if you covered the entire state of Texas 2 feet deep in silver dollars, marked one coin, and asked a blindfolded person to pick it on the first try, those are the odds. Coincidence? I don't think so. Over the past 5 episodes, we've peeled back the layers of a story most of us thought we knew. We've met the Magi, not 3 kings on camels, but Persian priest astronomers, possibly trained by the prophet Daniel himself, who traveled 1,000 miles because they recognized a cosmic announcement. We've unwrapped their gifts and discovered prophetic declarations hidden in gold, frankincense, and myrrh. We've chased the Star of Bethlehem through astronomical theories and ancient records, wrestling with the mystery of a light that moved and stopped. We've stood with shepherds on a Judean hillside as the sky split open with angels, men whose testimony wasn't accepted in court becoming the first to spread the news. And we've traced the prophecies backward through centuries, watching as predictions written by men who never saw their fulfillment came true in stunning detail. Here's what strikes me most about the Christmas story. It's not simple. It's not shallow. The more you dig, the more you find. Every detail, the town, the timing, the visitors, the gifts, the escape to Egypt, fits into a pattern that stretches back centuries and forward into eternity. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't coincidence. This was a plan, unfolding across generations, orchestrated by someone who sees the end from the beginning. I'm not here to tell you what to believe. That's not my job. But I am here to show you that the Christmas story deserves more than a passing glance. It deserves investigation. It deserves wonder. It deserves the kind of attention we've given it in this series. The next time you see a nativity scene, those familiar figures arranged around a manger, I hope you'll see more than ceramic figurines. I hope you'll see Persian kingmakers and despised shepherds, prophetic gifts and angelic armies, centuries of prophecy converging on one night in one small town. The familiar story contains depths we're still discovering. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Merry Christmas.